Hey, this is Jeff Dolan, CEO at Wavve. Just wanted to give you this quick Wavve new feature update on one new feature that we released this week. So RSS feeds. Some of you don't even know what RSS feeds are, and that's okay if you're not a podcaster. If you are a podcaster, it stands for really simple syndication. It means that you can take a link of where your podcast files are actually hosted. Okay, and it's actually an XML file with a link to it that has all of your podcast episodes, titles, descriptions, image art, all in this one file, and it's just code. It's like HTML. But the different streaming services, they look at that link, and that's where they pull all the information to kind of create the streaming of your podcast audio on the different platforms. So Apple, streams it out. A lot of them copy off Apple, some of them copy off other different ones, and some just want your raw feed. And that's why if you have your own podcast, you typically are given an RSS feed link to your main feed. We just opened it up for unlimited feeds, and what that means is a number of things. So let's jump in. So if I come in here and I go to create a Wavve, I will see the design, of course, and I can select one of these here. And if I go into Wavve, I have these different options, right, for adding audio. So let's say I click on RSS feeds. Now, some of you don't know what that is, but I already added my RSS feed in to my personal podcast. And I can click this little plus button here, and I can add as many different RSS feeds as I want. Okay. Now, if I hit edit on this one, I'll show you what this is. Now, I have an Anchor podcast, right? My personal one's an Anchor on Anchor. And so Anchor gives me this kind of weird looking link, but it has a podcast/RSS on it. And all I do is I paste it in there and I hit the little checkbox, and it grabs that feed and it says success, right? And I can delete it, I can edit it, and then I can add as many as I want here. And once it gets to a certain number, it starts paginating them. But the beauty of this is without having to go out on the web and find the audio and download it to my computer or my phone and then go into Wavve and then upload it, right? Because sometimes it's hard to find, and I click here on upload and upload it. Instead of doing that, I can just put the RSS feed in, if you can find it, find the RSS feed, and then paste it in here, and it'll just grab all the episodes, right? And it's going to tell me in here like, oh, here's all your episodes, grab which one you want, and then you just select it and it pulls it in, okay? And as it's decoding it, loading it, then it loads it right in here into Wavve, okay? And then you can start playing it and clipping it. And so that's the benefit. Now, this is really helpful if you are an influencer or someone that is being interviewed on different podcasts and you are constantly wanting to get the word out about the podcast that you were on, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to put the RSS feed to that other podcast that you were a guest on in here, find the episode that you're on, pull it in, and then clip your favorite parts of it and create waves and generate off that marketing. Of course, that's your prerogative. You're the guest on the show. You can do that, but you might want to get their permission first, etc. But that's a way that you can pull it in easily using the RSS feed feature. Now, some of you are asking, I don't know what an RSS feed is. I don't know where to get it. How do I get it? Let's take a look at this. So on my Anchor podcast, which is a lot of you use Anchor, there is if I just go to my Anchor page, right? So I think the link is just anchor.fm/Jeff Dolan in my case. You have a homepage, right? And there's this little copy RSS icon, and that's the little RSS icon. It's orange usually with the 2 lines coming out of the dot. And if you just click on that, that's going to give you the RSS link to paste into Wavve. Okay. And most of these platforms, I think Spotify doesn't really give you an RSS. At least it's been hard for me to find it. But a lot of these really do give you some kind of access to an RSS link. If it doesn't, then what you're going to want to look for is wherever you're hosting it at. So I'm hosting it on Anchor, but you might be hosting it on, Libsyn or, Captivate or one of these ones where the host that you're hosting the podcast on is going to give you the RSS feed. Okay. And that's where you're going to be able to pull it in. Now, if you're just listening to it, if you're a guest on a podcast and you just have like an Apple podcast link or something like that, it might be a little bit harder for you to find the RSS feed, but you can ask the host, how can I get it? If you can't easily find it. And each platform is a little different. So for instance, if I just knew that they were on Apple, I could try to go on here and find it. I don't know that I'll be successful, but let's see. So there's this little share button over here. And if I click on that, there's this little, looks like a tag, like an HTML tag, embed code copied. Okay. So that might be it, but it's probably not it, but it might be embedded in that link, right? So if I go over then to Wavve, and I'm just going to do this for fly. Okay. It's an iframe. There's a little link there. I'm going to see what this link is here. It's podcast Jeff Dolan, apple./US, podcast, embed. I don't think that's the RSS. I think this is an embed link. And if I hit check, it's going to say error, no RSS feed found at the given URL. Okay, so that tells me, okay, so Apple's making it hard. Oh, actually, I didn't delete all this other junk in here. I'm probably going to cut this out of the training video. But you're going to want to find the RSS feed, and it can be hard. And you can hit up our support if you need some help on finding it. But the best way is to find the host and ask them, what is the RSS link? That's the best way. And then the other best way is just a search RSS and the name of their podcast. Okay, yeah, so that's not it. So I'm going to hit delete on that. But you see how I can add and subtract these pretty easily. Now, if I went to another link on here, like let's say I go to, what's another popular, like Overcast, right? It's going to make me log in. Okay, never mind. Let's say I go to... I know Spotify doesn't give it to you. It's pretty hard to find on here, but I'm just to see if it does, I'm going to click on here because I know a lot of you use Spotify. But if let's say Spotify is the only one that you had access to, you could say share, copy, show, link, embed, show. Yeah, so that it's not giving you the actual RSS feed. I think because they don't want to host it. They don't want to help you get the files, basically. Okay. So that is not going to work. Let's try Google Podcasts. Okay, so this one's just giving me subscribe and visit website. So that's not being very helpful. Add by RSS feed. So you can add others, but you can't get it from Google. That's really helpful. Thanks, Google. Okay, so that one is a no-go. Castbox. Let's try that one. Whoa. Okay. This one's showing me the link to my website, subscribe and share. Okay. Let's say that. And then, yeah, I'm not seeing it on here either. Okay. So that one is probably syndicating it from Apple or somewhere. Yeah, I'm not seeing it there. So it is actually pretty hard to find the RSS link. Anchor is one that gives you a nice little link right there. But otherwise, you're going to have to do something like this where you go to like one of my podcasts, Tax Pro Nation on Libsyn, where they actually have this landing page. And on this landing page, they have, again, this is the host of my podcast here. So you can actually go and say subscribe to RSS feed and get that link. So you see out down there at the link, taxpronation.libsyn.com/RSS. And most of them are going to have some sort of RSS / that you can get the link to. So where you can put that link into Wavve. Okay, so that's really what you're trying to do, is just get that RSS link, which is the main place that the audio is hosted, and get that in here easily without having to go download the file from wherever you can to get the clip from it. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. The other thing that I'll tell you is that you might also notice that a similar thing is under Wavve Link. These are RSS feeds as well, but Wavve Link is our website, our single page website for your podcast. And so these are podcasts that you own. So if you go over here to Wavve Link, you'll see kind of the details on the RSS link is there. You can pull in the title, description, all your podcast links, all the streaming service links, social media links. You can collect, your mailing list, analytics, all that good stuff, right? And you can have different podcasts under one account, but I'll talk about that in a minute. That's a new feature as well. But I just wanted to go over and make sure you understand the RSS feed part of it, because a lot of people are not very familiar with what that even is. But it stands for really simple syndication, and it's for podcasts specifically. So I know the industry makes it a little bit hard to find it, but I know Anchor is doing a good job of sharing that, and Libsyn and some of the other hosts are pretty free about giving it out to the public. So hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.